Hey, it's John Hope Bryant, founder and chairman and CEO of Operation Hope. I'm also just an entrepreneur, uh, also the author of several books, Up From Nothing. If you haven't received that book yet, you should. It's, I think, the best thing I've done. And I'm going to cover some of what I've covered in that book, but the 5 laws of success for anybody is what you really need to be focusing on in that book. If you haven't gotten that, you should get it and read it or listen to it on audio. Let me jump into this real tight. If you're with other friends and you don't have a lot of time, have somebody, if you're limited on time, come back and tell you where to come back on a minute by minute situation, and just fast forward to that area. Tell your friends to watch this and go to the area that interests you the most. Give me some comments, give me some questions. I'll dig deeper. Let me tell you what I'm building and why. I don't know if I've ever really laid it out this way, but I'm going to do it now for you. This is mid 2022. We're in what I call the third Reconstruction period. The first Reconstruction was really about basic freedom. It's about not being checked. You were being checked to go into a restaurant, checked to go to vote, checked to. I mean, your freedoms were being impinged, and so it was really about trying to get from the fields to the factories to get a job and to be able to flow wherever you wanted. So not being checked. The second Reconstruction was about getting that check and cashing it, the creation of jobs, labor, work, professions, opportunities. Ultimately, for Black America, it became the creation of the Black middle class. That's the second Reconstruction. It's civil rights. So Civil War to civil rights. The third Reconstruction, the period I think we're in now, between 2020 and 2030. And I want to give respect to Reverend Barber, who coined the phrase, unbeknownst to me, third Reconstruction before I did. I want to give him full credit. Roland Martin had educated me on his version of the third Reconstruction. We have a similar focus, a different vision, but I respect what he's about. He's a pastor. He's a man of the cloth. So look at what he's doing. It's different from what I call the third Reconstruction. He's actually written a book about it. It's not my vision. My vision of third Reconstruction is social justice through an economic lens. Again, that's not wrong what he's doing. It's just different. Civil rights, SILVER. Okay, third Reconstruction, social justice through an economic lens. The color is not red or blue, politics. It's not black or white, race. It's green. Can I get an amen? I mean, for so long, folks have separated you and me from our brothers and sisters over silly stuff. The word white is a made-up word. It was made up in the early 1600s. The white class, all that stuff was made up for hundreds and hundreds of years. Really, people fought over power, money, position in the world. And those people of all races and colors. When poor whites and poor blacks got together as friends, not as enemies, but as friends in the early 1600s, and ran off together because they were being brutalized and taken advantage of, certain folks didn't like that. And really, I cover this in my book, do I cover it Up From Nothing? Actually, I don't know if I do cover this story in Up From Nothing. I think I do. The story of, yes, I do. A story of how blacks and whites got together and then were made to hate each other for no good reason, other than those who in power there would prefer to have a race riot than a class riot. So poor whites were told that they were better than blacks. And they took that and they were told they were white. They were white like us, like the power structure. The white poor didn't ask a question. What does that mean? Does it mean I'm rich like you, wealthy like you, have land like you, have titles like you, have privileges like you? The answer is no. If they would have asked that question, they didn't ask it. It didn't get answered. So poor whites went after poor blacks because, well, anyway, silly stuff. And those who were friends became, unfortunately, arch enemies. Just poverty attacking more poverty. And if you look at the groups today that have not advanced as groups, African Americans, Native American Indians, and poor whites, it's because they didn't get what I described in this book, the 5 pillars of success. Any 3 or more of those and you'll be successful. I'll do a separate video just on that. But if you don't have three of those pillars, if you were denied them, if you were not given an opportunity for them, you will, in all likelihood, fail. And that's why, as a group, there are exceptions to every rule. I'm African American. There are plenty of African Americans who are successful. But as a rule, as a group, we've not been given the tools to succeed. I'm not going to talk about what we're against and what's not working. There's a lot of folks who can unpack the problem. I'm going to tell you what we're for, not what we're against. And we're 5 minutes in this video and I haven't given you an answer yet. So enough of the history lesson. Let me pivot. You ready? You ready? Here we go. So the first Reconstruction was about not getting checked. Stop getting checked on bad stuff. Then the second Reconstruction, Civil Rights Movement, about you cashing the check. The third Reconstruction is about you writing the check. Can I get an amen? Creating wealth and opportunity, becoming the small business owner, the entrepreneur, and not just the recipient of large S or small s economically from others. What am I about? How does this fit in this larger vision? Operation Hope was created 30 years ago this year as America's first nonprofit social investment banking organization. We are now America's largest financial coaching, counseling, and financial literacy organization in the country. 200 offices in 46 states, 4 million clients, $4 billion almost in capital through our partners invested in underserved neighborhoods, creating homeowners and small business owners and entrepreneurs. We are the domicile agent for the city of Atlanta Public Schools for kids accounts for kindergarten kids. To give a bank account at kindergarten, it's been proven that if a kid gets an account at kindergarten for their education, they're twice as likely or 55% more likely to go to college and third more likely to graduate, just with that one statistic alone being in place. That one resource alone changes your mindset. I've always said that wealth is a mindset. Operation Hope is raising credit scores 54 points in 6 months, 120 points in 24 months, lowering debt and increasing savings for those that we counsel. All our services are free. To what end? What am I doing all this for? Here you go. So I guess tell your friends it can start at 7:24 if you want to cut to the chase. Minute 7:24. Number one, I'm going to create, and this is again, the Operation Hope's work is pivoting from the Freedmen's Bank of 1865. Cover that also in my book, a Freedmen's Bank chartered by Abraham Lincoln, run by Frederick Douglass, to teach free slaves about money, financial literacy, which I think is a civil rights issue of this generation. To what end? Number one, I want to create in my lifetime an economic system for Black America. That's right. And I want to credit Bernice King, my friend Bernice King, for really defining in words what it is I'm about. I was doing it, but hadn't defined it. In a letter to somebody introducing me, she actually described it that way. And that's exactly right. Thank you, Bernice, Dr. King. To create an economic system for Black America. Think about this. Nothing works systemically. Well, nothing works at scale without a system. Black folks have a creative arts system. We have a professional sports system where you farm club people up into professional sports. You follow me? Give me a thumbs up if you're getting me. Professional sports, all kinds of sports, right? Most sports, even tennis and F1 racing we're entering now, but basketball, football, all that stuff, we are part of that. We have a civil rights system, a nonprofit system, an ecumenical system, a anti-racism system. Help me out. Talk about other systems that Black folks have. They're numerous. An academic system. There's a systems and infrastructure, organizations, entities, a process to go from the top to the bottom, career-wise, in some cases. But if you also have been abused on civil rights or social justice issues, there are many places for you to go and to plug in, to get problems resolved, or to rise up as a professional in those professions. Are you following me? Okay, we're at 9 minutes. So number one, I want to create an economic system because that is the one thing that does not exist in Black America in a democracy rooted in capitalism is an economic system, which then feeds into the next vision, which is to create an economic infrastructure for underserved America, for those who are making $60,000 a year or less with too much month at the end of their money, including poor whites, which is more poor whites in America than poor anybody else, both during the times of Dr. King and now. So we are in this thing together. Whether you're white, Black, red, brown, or yellow, you want to see some more green. Can I get an amen again? So an economic system for Black America, economic infrastructure for underserved America, the Federal Reserve of the hood, including data, which is why we just launched our new Hope credit score index. Go to my website and check that out. We've mapped out all credit scores by zip code, by city, by state, by zip code, all across this country. It is incredibly telling. The data doesn't lie. And we're letting people plug in that system to come up from nothing. The third thing we're going to do is become America's financial coach. I want 1,000 locations plus across this country. Right now, we're the largest nonprofit with 200 full-time offices, staffed with full-time offices, not including my Hope in Hand app, which is online all across this country. At some point, we're going to be across the African continent and around the world. But we've got to make sure we are ubiquitous everywhere here in the U.S. with a data and a science and a technology and a system to let you come up from nothing. So once again, an economic system for Black America, an economic infrastructure for underserved America, become America's financial coach at scale. Okay, did this in 11 minutes. That's what we're about, and that's on the Operation Hope side. Give you a bonus 1 or 2 minutes here. If you want to know what I'm doing on the John Hope Bryant Holdings side, there's Bryant Group Ventures underneath that. There's parallel to that is John Hope Bryant, with Bryant Group Real Estate and Promise Homes Company. The Promise Homes Company is the largest Operation Hope is the largest nonprofit financial coaching organization in the country, financial literacy organization. Promise Homes Company is the largest for-profit minority owner of single-family rental homes in America. And we're about to issue a release on this. We've issued millions of dollars in contracts to Blacks and women and minorities for plumbing, electrical, landscaping, roofing, painting jobs, right? You have a high school education with a skill level. Promise Homes Company can give you a living wage or a wealth creation contract. We've done that for, hundreds of businesses and tens of thousands of workers, or at least thousands of workers. We're going to continue to scale that business from a couple $100 million to hopefully a couple billion. We're also giving people a chance, free financial literacy when you were a resident there. So increasing your financial knowledge as you gain your financial knowledge and you act differently with it as a renter. You're paying your rental time. We reward you. We, again, contracts flowing to minority-owned businesses. I call that social justice with economic lens. So now you have wealth and income equality being attacked, and then giving folks a chance to go from rent to own. So there's my whole arc of my life as it relates to this mission of civil rights, financial literacy, financial coaching, financial counseling and coaching, financial and economic empowerment at scale wherever you are in the country for free, leading to jobs and wealth creation contracts over here, affordable housing, and a chance to go from rent to own. This is the art of a new form of capitalism. We call it capitalism with a conscience, where you can do well and do good, do well by doing good. You don't have to be a jerk to be a capitalist, or put another way, you can be a great capitalist and not have to be a jerk. Nothing's perfect, but you can do well and do good too. We're going to prove it. We're going to prove that other people can do it too. Provide a return to your investors, whoever they may be, a return to society, to operate with a reputable brand. Doesn't mean you don't make mistakes. I make mistakes every week. So does my team, but we take responsibility for it and make it right as soon as we can. Let me know what you thought about this video. Go to johnobryanholdings.com. Follow me there. Follow me at Operation Hope. Follow all of the Operation Hope channels. Download the Hope in Hand app. And follow me at John Hope Bryant on all social media. For the 3 million folks who already follow this movement, thank you. Let's go change the world. Look, we're living in a moment in history, but history does not feel historic when you're sitting in it. It just feels like another day. But that doesn't mean the moment is not historic. You're sitting in a moment of history right now. What are you going to do about it? Let's go.